so chill.
Hello, my country people.
She's the nice one, always trying to keep him out of trouble.
Oh no, don't say that.
These two are on a mission to be the voice of the people. Lagos, are you ready? The Big Bird has landed.
This is Seun and Kuti.
And I'm Ifunanya. Join us every Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon on our brand new show.
If I open this my mouth, all tables scatter.
Father, help us all.
Talk to Seun, Kuti, and Iffy on the people's perspective every Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Lagos Talks 91.3.
Alrighty. It's 3 minutes past 11 this beautiful, fantastic, fun-filled Friday. Welcome to the Midday Show. It's me, Ifunanya, here on Lagos Talks 91.3. It's that time you've been waiting for. Your favorite show on radio, The People's Perspective. And as always, my co-host that missed me so much, Seun Kuti.
Why are you lying to yourself? Nobody missed you.
Now.
Nobody.
If you see how Seun came to, he ran and he hugged me when he saw me.
I didn't carry you up and spin you 360 in the air.
He didn't. There was no space.
There was no space in that place. That was my plan. Welcome everybody to the TPP. We're ready to give you some people's perspective.
Indeed.
Yeah,
so we have a few stories that we're going to be sharing today. We're going to start off with the senior advocate of Nigeria. He's also an activist, Femi Falana, who had a few things to say about the president. I'm going to be playing an audio for you so that you can get the gist of what he had to say. And then we're going to be talking about the abducted students, what's been going on with banditry up north, and Sheikh Gumi's role in all of this. So we're going to be updating you with what's going on. And there's something that El Rufai said that just blew a lot of people's minds, talking about their rescue mission that included losing some students. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to be highlighting some of the things that he said in his own words. And then we're going to touch a little bit on, the sad epidemic, I should say, that we're experiencing in Nigeria called child molestation. And also a rape. So we're going to be highlighting a few stories in recent times that have, made the news. Very, very sad, heart-wrenching stories. So let's get into it, Seun. We're going to start off with Femi Falana, who's an activist. He's a son, he's a lawyer. Let's take a look at what he had to say during an interview as regards the president. Why this is not playing out, I do not know.
It's the presidency.
That is doing interview.
Yeah.
Well, sadly, guys, I do apologize. Not really sure what's going on with the audio. But what really he was saying, I'll probably just use my own words to explain it to you. He was saying a president that is not functioning should be impeached. Now, this is not the first time people have spoken about impeachment, especially as regards the president and some members of government, but particularly the president in this instance. Now, we know that this topic of impeachment is a very cumbersome one, especially when it has to do with the number one citizen of Nigeria, and especially also when it has to do with reversing the decision of the majority of the citizens who went out to vote for the president. Now, just taking a look at the process of impeachment before we dissect this particular story. For those who do not know anything about the process of impeachment in Nigeria, here goes. The first step, so listen and listen attentively. So the first step of impeaching a president in Nigeria, a notice of any allegation in writing alleging gross misconduct on the part of the president. Now, this notice must be signed by not less than 1/3 of the members of the National Assembly, of course, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, and it has to be presented to the Senate President. Now, gross misconduct is defined by the Constitution as, and I quote, a grave violation or breach of the provisions of this Constitution, or a misconduct of such nature as amounts, in the opinion of the National Assembly, to gross misconduct. Now, the second step is this. The Senate President must, within 7 days, serve the president and each member of the National Assembly with a copy of the notice of allegation. The third step of impeaching a president is the president has a right of reply. So he or she does not have to reply. However, but they have a right to reply. And any such statement in reply to the allegation must be served on each member of the National Assembly. The fourth step, within 14 days of the presentation of the notice to the Senate President, each house of the National Assembly shall resolve by motion without any debate whether or not the allegation shall be investigated. Now, this motion needs to be passed by at least 2/3 majority of all members of each House of Assembly. Step 5, if the motion fails to reach the required majority, the process immediately stops and no further action will be taken. However, if the required majority is obtained and the motion is passed, then the Senate President will, within 7 days of the passing of the motion, request the Chief Justice of Nigeria to appoint a panel of 7 people who, in his opinion, are of unquestionable integrity to investigate the allegations. Now, the members of the panel cannot...
You mean nobody?
The panel cannot be members of any public service, legislative house, or political party. So they have to be ordinary civilians, let's put it that way. Then step 6, the panel is to report its findings within 3 months of being appointed. Now, the findings will be reported to each house of the National Assembly. During the proceedings of the panel, the President shall have a right to defend himself and shall also have the right to be defended by a legal practitioner of his or her choice. The 7th step, where the panel reports that the allegation has not been proven, there will be no further action. However, if the report is that the allegation against the President has been proven, then the National Assembly will consider the report and a resolution for the adoption of the report shall be moved. Now, the 8th step, which is the final step. No, I have to read out the final step. No, the final step is this. For the resolution to be adopted, it must be supported by not less than 2/3 majority of all the members of each house. Once adopted, the President shall stand removed from the office as from the date of the adoption of the report. So just taking it a step backwards, or rather several steps backwards. Remember, the first thing that they said was gross misconduct. Now, according to the Constitution, gross misconduct is defined by the Constitution as a grave violation or breach of the provisions of this Constitution, or a misconduct of such nature as amounts, in the opinion of the National Assembly.
Then everybody is guilty now.
So I wanted to ask you this, Seun. Now, taking a look at the definition of gross misconduct by the Constitution, do you think that the President currently, based on what he has done and not done, stands under this particular category?
Let me just say something to put things in perspective. You know, the question I have for many of our elder activists that are fighting for the freedom of Nigeria precisely is, why now? That's a question I've been asking since, because many people have been reaching out to me to come meet them for meetings. They want to do a political party here, they want to do this one there, and I ask everybody, why now? Why is it now that a new generation of revolutionaries, of rebels, of activists are standing up with a new voice and new direction? Why is it that now, you people that have always had the opportunity to fix this country, but instead did nothing, why is everybody suddenly up in arms now? You know, because for me, I know many of these great activists we have in Nigeria. I've known them since I was a child. You know, even Uncle Femi was my father's lawyer. For, you know, when just as soon as he left uni, I mean, that's how he made his name in Nigeria, by defending my dad. You understand? So I've known him all my life, you know. And these men are highly intelligent. I mean, you do not understand how intelligent these people are. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are avant-garde intellectuals. And since 1999, since after the military struggle, even Asiwaju is part of the people I'm talking about. Understanding him from the days of Nadeko. You understand? Knowing all these men. And since 1999, they have all become stupendously rich. On the back of the struggle for this country. Military, fighting against the military. And they reap the reward in the civilian dispensation. So between 1999 to 2021, these 20 years, these men know exactly what has been going on in this country. They see the imbalance in the distribution of wealth. They see the abuse. They see everything. But everybody has gone on to defend politicians in Supreme Court, become billionaires. Everybody has carried contracts. Everybody has become rich off the backs of these same people we talk about. You know. So me, I believe that if we are now going to come together to fight this fight again, that okay, let's not start leading the people down dark corridors that will do nothing but waste our energies. Nobody can impeach Buhari in this country. I remember when they were trying to honorary what's his name? They couldn't recall him. What's his name? Dino Melaye.
Oh yes. Oh yes, we remember.
Is
that
it Buhari now want to impeach? I mean, what is all this dragging everybody in different direction? Today is Oduduwa Republic. Now is impeachment. Let's face the organizing for the struggle that we know we want to face. If people know that they want to face this government politically, organize the people along political lines. Let's remove them in the ballot. If you want to face them militarily, organize the people along revolutionary lines. But don't just be dragging everybody in different directions every week, because this is what I feel is happening. They are distracting the people from the focus, which is we must organize ourselves. Without organizing ourselves, we cannot achieve anything. You understand? And also, this impeachment plan is also a way to give the people's power to the elites. Because we're going to run impeachment. We're going to write all this letter to Senate. We're going to cajole the senators to agree. So we want to now give our power again to the elites to run an impeachment for us. You know? And then they're going to pick people of reputable character.
But Seun, now does this mean that the rights of the citizens and the power of the citizens just stops at the ballot? Because even when they make a decision that was a poor decision, as citizens, do you not still run this country by being able to actually recall certain, sitting senators? Exactly.
So there must be a connect now between the Nigerian people, the senators, the House of Rep, and their constituents. And by NSAS protest, you can tell that there's absolutely no connect. Because if there was connect, those areas that were going up in flames, it is the job of the senators and the assembly members that control that constituency to go there and listen to the grievances of the people.
Yes.
Whole town hall meeting. Since we have been in this country as Nigerians, how many town hall meetings has your assembly member come to hold in your neighborhood? Even people that live in Etiosa, the most expensive local government they say in Nigeria, the most expensive real estate in Africa, when they talk for VR. How many times have their senator come to hold town hall meetings with these rich and prosperous Nigerians, talking of the poor people in the rural areas?
So do you think that this is only a function of corruption or political apathy amongst the people themselves, who do not demand these town hall meetings and who do not even know, as close as the local government chairman?
That is the thing. There is a miseducation. You understand? 40 years of apathy, of political non-participation, forced political non-participation by the military, definitely will create this kind of apathy. We cannot doubt that. It's something that could definitely happen. But what is most enlightening here is that even though we now have the chance to participate, you find a lot of people in positions of influence. You understand? Saying to people, politics is not your business. I'm not political. You even hear musicians that have influence saying things like, oh, I'm not political. But let me tell you something. Saying that you're not political is a political statement. Being non-political is also political. You understand? So the thing that Nigerian people have to understand is that we're no longer under military regime. All that apathy, all that fear, you have to discard it to understand that even to the people you are able to talk to is determined by the politics of your country. Because if politicians decide now that this, whatever your best friend, let me say your best friend is a Muslim, and politicians say, oh, no Muslims in this neighborhood, so your friendship has automatically been affected by politics. So we have to understand that we have to engage politics as much as we can as Nigerian people. Even if we don't like the politics our elites are playing at the moment, then let's create our own. We have the wherewithal. How many hours a week do you need to organize? You just need to give 2 hours a week to your country, 3 hours a week, 3 hours a week. The amount of time you used to watch Telemundo, 2 Telemundo shows. It's true.
But Seun, under what condition can Nigeria possibly get to a point where we begin to take accountability, just like the Western world, where if there is any form of misconduct that is brought to light, you would see these political office holders themselves step down even without the people calling for their impeachment,
Bill Clinton did not step down. No.
I mean, that's one out of.
But it depends on where you are holding.
That's just one out of a few. But on a normal day,
it depends.
On a normal day,
don't step down either.
On a normal day, we get to see that if there is any form of gross misconduct, right, in different parts of the world, you would see some of the leaders step down.
Yes.
So what condition does Nigeria have to get to where we are able to, take responsibility where these leaders are stepping down if there's any form of gross misconduct?
The issue with Nigeria is that there's no stigma. Many of the situations where people step down in Europe and America is the stigma of the situation that has made them step down. And they fight tooth and nail to hold that position. But the stigma in society is just so much that they have to step down. If you remember the case of Dominic Strauss-Kahn, the IMF leader that was caught for rape, that was charged for rape in New York. It wasn't for the guilty verdict. He didn't want to step down. Before they now gave it to Christine Lagarde. So it is rampant. Right now, the British Prime Minister is going through serious corruption allegations because somebody who nobody knows went to renovate his flat for him. And it's all the news they're talking about in England. Everybody wants to know who paid for that flat. Imagine going to tell a Nigerian politician that. You understand? Anyway, we're a long way from that. Because in Nigeria, that is not even the problem. Somebody
who cares?
Andrew Yakubu is still telling us that the $10 million we found inside his house is a gift. Is a gift.
That's very interesting.
And he has the right to take gifts as NAPC chairman.
All right, if you're listening, join the conversation. We're talking about an audio where Femi Falana said that a president that is not functioning, a president that is not active, that is not performing, should be impeached. And we've been talking about the process of impeachment in Nigeria. What are your thoughts about that? And do you believe that Nigeria can ever get to a point where we take responsibility and accountability is the order of the day, where there is gross misconduct and these leaders actually step down themselves? And
let's not forget, Trump was impeached. He still didn't leave office.
Of course, he didn't leave office.
So
what are your thoughts about this? 0809-234-5913, 0809-222-0913. Also, you can call 01-515-0913, 01-515-1913. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking, please? Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking?
Good morning, Ify. Good morning, Seun. Nice by yourself.
Hey, Buka, I can hear your voice. They've stolen my bed.
Good.
The people, Ify has come to work today now. I can't find my bed. Ify is here.
If you welcome back once again.
Thank you.
Hope you got a chocolate on the TPP. Yes, because we can always get
Is that so? No problem.
Yeah, it is our government. The mindset of the winner take it all instead of being considered. There is this thing they say, if you cannot do everything that is needed by the people, resign, go into what is it you say you will retire to your, let's say, Lekki or other places. This country, everybody wants to grab the opportunity, make the money. But sometimes I wonder, all this money you're accumulating, where are you going to use it for? Who is using it? Even if your children, some people are dying. So it's for you to do the work. But for that impeachment, the power intoxication in this country is not too much. So I don't know how we'll go about it. But like Seun we said, is gather social consciousness. We just gather up other political parties, be committed in any place we are. We're talking about it. Nigeria will get better now.
Thank you, Ibuka.
All right, thank you, Lagos Talks. Good morning. Please turn off your radio.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's speaking, please?
Yeah, my name is Ferdinand. All
right, Ferdinand, welcome. Join the conversation. Let's hear you.
Yeah. For me, the impeachment is necessary, but in other way around, let's manage him or the definition in this thing. Because if impeaching now, which of the government will come across to take over?
Is his vice?
If he is impeached now, they're going to swear in his vice immediately.
Consider this APC platform. Do you think if impeach him, the government will change for what we are today?
That's my own question too. I don't understand this impeachment.
If they see that man now, then assuming Kuti come across, the system is going to change the way we are seeing it today? That's my question. So therefore, let me consider him and manage him until then or finish. That's my thought.
All right, thank you. Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking?
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's speaking?
My name is Peter Martin from Seun.
All right, Peter. Let's hear you quickly, please.
Yeah, I think when we begin to practice the true definition of democracy, which we were told that it is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people, at that point you will discover that when the people elect you, and then you go there to represent the people, then when the executive, because three arms of government, executive, judiciary, and legislature. So at that point you will not everybody is elected by the people, and they will protect the interest of the people. But what we are practicing now, what we are having, is just the people that are supposed to impeach the president. Please allow me to use this word. They behave like Arab boys. And they just what the Mr. President said. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those people cannot
So they're
take
yes
it.
men.
When you have an election that until the president is elected, then they begin to appoint others, to put their say they are the legislators. For me, it cannot work. I am just waiting for when God will give us the government of the people, when the people are elected by the people. And then when executive is there, there is impeachment. So it's possible. We can do that, and I believe we will do it, if not today, tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Peter. If you want to join the conversation, remember you can send a tweet or two or more at Lagos Talks 913 using the hashtag #ThePeoplesPerspective. Please ensure that you're using that hashtag so that we get to see your tweet and read it out. If you want to send a WhatsApp message, please send it to this line 0809 234 5913. I'll go over that again 0809 234 5913. This is coming from Adebayo on WhatsApp saying, good morning, Seun and Ife. On the question raised, the only way Nigeria can work effectively is when the judiciary, the executive, and the legislator decides to work for the Nigerian people rather than working for the executive arm of government. This is coming from a listener saying, it seems we've normalized deceiving ourselves in this country. Impeach call. All right, so you're definitely skeptical about that one. All right, guys, let's move on to other stories. Let's take a look at the insecurity, especially going on up north. I'm talking about the banditry and the abduction of students in the Kaduna Forestry College, as well as the Greenfield students in Kaduna. And this happened just a few days ago. Now, first of all, taking a look at the Kidnappers Forestry College, thankfully, after 59 days or 56 days, very harsh days, they have been released finally. And so the chairman of the Forum of the Abducted Parents, Malam Abdullahi Usman, spoke with newsmen, and he said, and I quote, yes, they've been released. And at the time he was saying this, he said that they were on their way from the forest back home, of course, to be reunited with their family. Remember that the bandits demanded 500 million naira as ransom for their release. Now, just to take this a step further, 10 of the 39 abducted students were actually earlier released by the abductors in 2 batches of 5 each. And thankfully, the rest of the students were released just a few days ago. Before we move on to the Greenfield students, Seun, they've been released. They had demanded 500 million. Now, the government hasn't come out to tell us if they paid a ransom or not. But do you think there's a possibility that this ransom was paid for them to have just released them?
Maybe it was paid, maybe it wasn't. I mean, they were released. But it's more likely that they were paid, you know, to get the children released.
Back home.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, about the Greenfield students, they were abducted on the 20th of April. And on the 23rd of April, we got information that 3 dead bodies were found, and they were amongst those that were abducted earlier. And then on the 26th of April, we got information that 2 more people had died, of course, instilling more fear, in the hearts and minds of the family members of these students that were sadly abducted. Now, a few days ago, the bandits actually threatened to kill the rest of the students if 100 million naira ransom, as well as some motorcycles, if it wasn't given to them, that they were going to kill the rest of the students. Now, if you recall, and if you've been listening to the midday show, I did speak a few days ago about El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna, stating vehemently that he's not going to negotiate or pay any ransom whatsoever. Now, if you take a look at, some of the things that he had said during the Goodluck Jonathan era, he did say that, and at the time, this was when the Chibok girls had been abducted. So when he was speaking with newsmen, he had said that Goodluck Jonathan, what should be done is, of course, that they should incorporate a combination of the military force as well as negotiation.
Carrot and stick approach.
That's what he did say at that time.
That's really technique Nigerian government know.
And now,
And
during his own, tenure as governor, he's saying he does not negotiate, he doesn't pay any ransom whatsoever. Now, that aside, taking a look at the role that Sheikh Gumi is playing, in the abduction, in the negotiation, he's become an unofficial middleman, that communicates between the government and the bandits. Now, Sheikh Gumi a few days ago during an interview stated, especially regarding these people that abducted the Greenfield students, he said that these ones are not bandits, that they are Boko Haram. That when they had sent one of their people to actually go and negotiate with them, that they started threatening the person that they sent, that if you don't take your time, we're going to abduct you as well, and they're going to demand a ransom. This is what Sheikh Gumi said, that, they are not bandits, so these ones are Boko Haram. Now, fast forward to, a few days later, the parents came out to actually protest.
When are we going to do a TV sitcom called Nigeria?
I believe that is probably on its way, because Nigeria has so many laughable stories. But anyway,
I don't know if it's laughable. It's just entertaining.
It's very laughable. Now back to the parents. So the parents came out. They were protesting, asking the government to do something about their children, asking the government to pay the ransom that is being demanded, the 100 million naira. Now during the protest, one of the parents, amongst the crop of parents there, said to the media that, they had gone to Sheikh Gumi's house a few days ago and they had all contributed the amount of 800,000 naira to pay to one man, is what this parent said. Now, when this information was disclosed, of course, everyone was talking about it. And, of course, it was really mind-boggling, because one thing that we have been saying is, how is a man who clearly has direct access to these bandits, why is he still there, roaming around freely, where he has all this information?
Yeah, but what you want to go and arrest him?
This is the question that people are asking. Now, a day after this information came to light, the forum of parents of the abducted students came out and said, no such thing happened, that it's not true, we did not gather at Sheikh Gumi's house to contribute any amount of money whatsoever, blah blah blah. Now Sheikh Gumi has come back to say that after negotiating with the bandits, that they've agreed not to kill the students anymore, and that there's more negotiation going on behind the scenes privately. This is it. Now, the last thing I'm going to mention before we dissect this is some information that was released as regards El-Rufai speaking about the abductions lately. Now, when El-Rufai was talking about, what their rescue plan was, he said, and I quote, 2 days after the abduction of the Afaka young people, I was assured by the Air Force and the Army that they knew where the kidnappers were with the students, and they had encircled them. We were going to attack them. We would lose a few students, but we would kill all the bandits and we would recover some of the students. That was our plan. And he had a few other things to say. But what jumped out the most to the citizens is the fact that he, as a governor, disclosed that part of our plan was, we're going to attack them. Yes, we're going to lose a few students, but then we're going to kill all the bandits. So just starting off with this information.
It's going the Russian route. I mean, in Russia, the government of Russia, under no circumstance whatsoever, the Spetsnaz is their specialist anti-terrorist, anti-abduction, anti-whatever units. The Russian, they call it Spetsnaz, and the Russians actually do not negotiate with terrorists for anything whatsoever. So there was this really big case where 200 children were held by some Chechen terrorists in the National Theatre of Russia in St. Petersburg, I think, some few years, over a decade now, I think. And, the Russian government stormed the place. They killed some kids, but, they killed the terrorists and rescued some. So I think that is where he's getting his own.
No, my question is this.
But what he doesn't understand is that he doesn't have specters.
Okay, that's definitely clear.
And with the way the battle with Boko Haram has been raging in Nigeria, how is he sure it's the army that will kill the bandits or the bandits kill the army? Are we sure? I mean, so you don't have specters or that. Just calm yourself.
But in this condition, or should I say, this atmosphere of insecurity and fear, especially amongst those who have been waiting for their children to get home, do you think that a governor should have disclosed such information? Do you think that he should have told the general public that, yes, we were going to actually attack the bandits, although we were going to lose some students, we had considered that?
I think
do you think
worse.
he should have put out that information?
I think it would be worse if he didn't. If he didn't say that it was the plan, and then it happened, and then the people now know that he already knew that people would die before he did it. You know, it will be more of a political. There will be more political blowback for him. So I think, politically speaking, see, for me, there's nothing like too much honesty from the government. The more transparent the government can be, you know, the better for the nation. The problem we have is that, you see, in this kind of matter now, it's really to be transparent because it doesn't really involve him or his family. But in all the things that happen in government office that people should know, all the corruption, all the nepotism, does it come outside to tell us everything like this? No. There's no transparency there. You know, and in the Shegumi aspect of this matter, before we dissect Shegumi, what Nigerians need to remember is this guy in Benue. What's his name? That the military arrested, that he gave up, that he surrendered. What's his name? And name just keep my mind now.
I don't know that.
Yes, this it was a bandit. Was the head of all the bandits, or
let's see.
Ghana. That's his name.
Okay.
So Ghana, and the interview he held with channels, television, is still playing in my memory constantly. And I know most people, because they killed him and his story was just covered for 3 days. You know, the day they say he should surrender, the day he surrendered, the day they killed him. Pum! They didn't dissect the news again the way they keep dissecting headsmen. This guy said that certain Nigerian politicians called him to Ghana, or was it Cameroon, to hold a meeting with him. Cameroon, to hold a meeting with him. That they want him to cause havoc, to be creating fights all over the country. And they offered him 500 million. He said no, he wanted 5 billion. Or so, I mean, he said it. This was the interview he gave as he was surrendering to the Nigerian army. Now, they were going to take him from there to go and interrogate him to get his names.
Of course.
He surrendered to the army.
Too much.
As they were leaving, the army, another group of army stopped the convoy, pulled him out, and murdered him immediately. And then banditry exploded. Still. So that means he refused. Somebody else has accepted. Case closed. So Shegumi or no Shegumi. Shegumi is not the one paying bandits money. Shegumi is not the one distributing arms in this country. I said the first question we must ask Nigerian politicians is, can we have a roster of all your political thugs? Are we saying that there's no political? Yes, we need the roster.
Yes. Now,
let's know what they are all up to right now.
In the case of Sheikh Gumi, because what people really want to know is this: isn't it a clear path to actually stopping banditry in Nigeria? Because the solution seems very much glaring, but why isn't the government doing anything about it? Where you have direct access and contact with these bandits, you should know where they are located. And so why are we still in a position where we're being held to ransom and the students are still abducted, and then they are wondering, would they come, would they not come?
This is another misconception. People think these people like Boko Haram and these so-called bandits, they're not bandits. I don't like this name bandits, you know.
So what are they? What should we call them?
You know, I feel like they are more political thugs than they are bandits. I mean, what they're doing...
Yes, they are still criminals.
What they are doing is like can you call a politician a bandit?
Well, they're still criminals. It's still under the umbrella of criminality.
Exactly. But
yes.
Banditry means that, you know, there's some guys, you know, trying to make some money for themselves with no political ties.
Affiliation.
This issue happening in Nigeria is political. The violence in this country is political. I've said it from day one. It is the only way our established politicians can contest 2023 election. They have nothing to offer Nigerian people. So if they've created violence like this all over the country, they cannot say, I will bring peace. Because what else can they say? What can APC say to get Nigerian people's votes in 2023? What can PDP come and say to get votes in 2023? Nothing. So except they create something. And this is what they've created. And also, they want to bring AFRICOM. We dissected that when you went around. The president is inviting America to come and build military base. Do you know how much they're going to make in American government military aid? So all these things, I feel, has strong political leanings, you know. And when people say, oh, they know where they are because Shegumi can meet with them, these people are nomadic. Every criminal, they don't stay in one place. They meet Shegumi here. In 2 hours, they might have moved to 10 kilometers to another settlement. That's how they move around. They don't stay in one place waiting for army to come and meet them there. And I'm not sure also that the Nigerian military has the political support that they need to carry out the function against these people.
That's very true.
My father was one man. I see when they were coming to bomb Fela's house, 1,000 soldiers. Now he approached Fela's house. 1,000. We didn't know them, but they were soldiers. We just didn't know what they or no, but they were 1,000. In the house, we had we didn't have one single gun in our house. Exactly. So
now we know that this is clearly political, but sometimes it looks as if the presidency, or should I say the government itself, has lost their grip on what seems to be, orchestrated behind the scenes. Because if we are saying that they are creating something so that they can have some sort of
controlled chaos before,
so that they can have some sort of manifesto when they come to speak to the people. If they create this chaos that will damage the country, what country is there for them to rule in the first place?
Nigeria has never been a country to these people. Nigeria is a business. This chaos is not affecting the business. The business is protected. See, if the business of Nigeria is, if these people try to near the business of Nigeria, they'll bring hell on them immediately. The business that these men run is highly protected. They don't. So for them, Nigeria is a business. Nigeria is a means to enrich themselves. They've never seen Nigeria as their country. I always say it's only in Nigeria that 90% of our politicians' children have foreign passports. Imagine if you go and start looking at American children now, they start seeing that American politicians, their children have Spanish passports, British passports, Nigerian passports. Don't you think that those politicians will be told to leave office immediately? We are the only country where our politicians openly show us that they have no affiliation to us. Educationally, their children don't school here. Health-wise, houses, is their worst houses they have here. Don't you understand what I'm saying? Nigeria is a business. True. So what you're saying is that which country for them to rule? If 100 million of the 200 million Nigerians die, for these people is a blessing. Less of us for them to worry about. That's how they see it. Are they not all supporting Bill Gates that says he wants to depopulate Africa? That we are too much. I travel this country every day. I see the barren lands all over the place that we have not been able to occupy. But we are too much.
All right, channel, let's take some tweets and some messages on WhatsApp. This is coming from listeners saying, I'm tired of this odoriferous way of governance. Let them impeach the leader, but the senators will not do the needful. Now, I understand why the Bible said Jesus wept. This is coming from a listener saying, hello, Ify and Seun, TPP. I want to ask who will and how do we raise the bar of the criteria for candidates for elections? This is coming...
And that's a good question, though.
This is coming from Fred, saying, to be honest with you, I don't just believe that that Buhari is a Nigerian president. Okay. This is coming from Chief Udose. Good morning, Ify and Seun. What's the difference between bandits and Boko Haram? It's like saying akara and beans are not the same. Anyway, saying you don't pay ransom is not the problem. What is El Rufai doing to prevent constant recurrence? And
exactly, the man is talking like he has pet nas. Okay, you don't have pet nas.
He's saying now.
Okay, you need to put pet nas in place before you are making that mouth you are making. Without pet nas.
This is coming from a listener saying, good morning. So my name is not Ife, it's Ify and Seun. I quite agree with Seun.
We've given you Yoruba name. Want to bring you to the good side.
It will be difficult. What do you want to the good side?
To the good side.
Excuse me.
Let the Yoruba man take care of you.
I beg. No. Eno.
Ife, from today I'm calling you Ife. Thank you, my brother.
And he said, it would be difficult to impeach the president, but I would still like us to test that aspect of our constitution. In a saner climate, would Sheikh Gumi still be walking around freely?
Yes, I mean, I don't want us to. People,
would he be walking around freely?
Nigerians are always in their emotions and in their feelings. You know, there was a pastor in Nigeria that was caught with 9 million naira arms money in his place. He was going to buy arms, and not in Nigerian army, not in Nigeria NSC, not anything. You people remember that? How many people said they should throw him in jail for that?
Yeah, I remember that.
The entire Northerners were saying, no, the Muslims, he has to go to jail. What did the Southerners was saying, what did he do? He was helping the president. Sheikh Gumi is helping the president talk to bandits. People are saying they should throw him in jail. The man has not.
Okay, you know what? Let's even take a look at what that parent said when they were protesting, saying that they had gathered in Sheikh Gumi's house, gathered money, and then the next day they came to debunk it, saying, "Oh, no such thing happened." Okay, so who? Okay, so are you saying that they placed a mole in the midst to cause some sort of disruption, just so that? As I said to you,
this is political terror.
Oh man.
The more you look, the less you see. The more you look, the less you see. One woman comes to talk now, then a group of people come to talk. So who will we believe? One person or a group of people? If we weren't there.
In this type of country where we know that they silence the weaker.
No problem. We weren't there.
Then when we believe that there's a possibility.
Innocent until proven guilty.
My goodness. Well, you know what? We're not saying that he is a bandit. But we are saying that if he has clear access to the bandits, why is he still walking around freely without any interrogation whatsoever?
If you have a Yahoo boy as a friend, we should come and meet you and arrest you. Because you're not telling us how the Yahoo boy is spending the money.
That's not true. But guess what? You will be under investigation as well. Because they would identify the people that he associates himself with. Exactly.
I agree. Investigate Sheikh Gumi, not arrest.
How about investigate Sheikh Gumi?
Yes, I agree. I'm up for that. Investigate Sheikh Gumi. No problem with that. But say arrest the man. He has done nothing wrong. He's acting in the capacity of his rights as a citizen of Nigeria.
There you go.
I even feel the guy is brave.
Investigation.
I even feel the guy is brave because there's no way anybody is calling me to go and meet some bandits in the village in one bush to discuss about any abduction of anybody except it's my daughter. Exactly that they have there.
Hence the reason why we are now more inclined to believe that this is political.
The man get mind.
That he's not that he get mind because he knows that he's protected.
No, of course, I'm just being his advocate. We all cannot be calling for the man's head when they're not doing anything.
Indeed,
the man get mind.
This is coming from Kelewensky saying it's a shame that we're thinking the government lacks capacity or intelligence. Are we still this naive? Let the militants bomb pipelines and then you will know we have capacity.
Exactly.
That's the point right there. And that's very true. This is from Leo saying, good afternoon, Ogashewa and Ife. I kind of agree with the KD governor. My take is that if we can't form a team to rescue, then let's wipe them all out and also go after their family members. But in the process, all kids will surely die. You know, my issue with this, there's a certain level of intelligence that comes with you as a public servant, especially when we're in an atmosphere of angst and fear and sensitivity. You don't just come out to tell the parents that we would have sacrificed your children. There's a method to this madness, you understand? So I feel like I understand the area of transparency, but in this atmosphere of sensitivity and fear, I'm not really sure that you should have come out to say such a thing.
It should be worse if you had told his parents, I'm going to rescue your children. Then they go and rescue and some die. And then they find out later that he lied to them initially to get their consent to launch that mission, knowing those children were going to die before he did.
Or maybe he shouldn't have added the part of the children there. He should have said, well, we sent our military force there to attack them.
Even if he didn't say it, the fact that he knew the consequences will be political blowback. And it might not even be now. It might be later, maybe he wants to run for vice president or president or something. One of the people that knew that thing will just leak the story. Do you think those parents will ever forgive him, knowing that he intentionally sacrificed their children, then used deceit to gain their consent for the mission? So I think in that case, I say, if you trust me, no matter how harsh it is, transparency in government is the best.
That's too harsh. This is coming from listener saying, if you want about security operatives that escort Sheikh Gumi to the bandits' enclave. This is coming from Ibo JC saying, Ife and Seun, why are we like this? What do you mean? The governor of Enugu narrated his ordeal with security personnel that attacked a village in Nsukka when he put a call to the police commissioner about an attack, which a police boss asked him to call Abuja, and again called the commander of 82 Division in Enugu, who also asked him to call Abuja until the attackers came and carried out the attack.
I mean, there's no political will. This is what I'm saying to you. There's no political will to defend the people.
This is from Udochukwu saying, "Welcome back, guys. Miss you, Ify, and I searched all over Lagos, but I couldn't find you."
I found out. Yeah, I found her.
Where did you find
It took 3 weeks, but I found her.
This is coming from Ben saying, "Hi, Ify and Shewa, leaders are not honest. Instead of fighting and apprehending these bandits, they are negotiating. These guys have nothing to offer." El Toro is saying, "Shewa and Ify, I need my license." Well, I'm not really sure what we can do about this. She's complaining about FRSC. You know what? We'll take a look at your tweet after. This is from Vim saying, Seun, and if his name is Seun, not Sean. Seun,
I'm not Sean. Sean is Irish.
He said Nigerians are missing the point. Buhari is undergoing the early. Okay. This is coming from Star saying, "Imagine Seun's take on Sheikh Gumi. What a shame. He should also say that Buhari hasn't done anything wrong."
I can never say Buhari hasn't done anything wrong, because he has. But Shigumi hasn't. No matter how sentimental you want to be about it.
In the context of our laws and
the man hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, you people just want to be sentimental because he's a Muslim. I mean, that's it.
Let's move on to other stories. The very last story before we wrap up for today. I mentioned this earlier, that this thing called abuse, talking child abuse, I'm talking child molestation and rape, have become an epidemic. This is something that happens every now and then in Nigeria. Very recently, we did see some that were brought or pushed to the limelight. I'm talking about Baba Ijesha. We did see that there was a video where he was molesting an underage child. I didn't see that video, but people were demanding to see the video, and I don't know why people were demanding to see that video.
Well, I kind of ran into the video.
Yeah.
I ran into the video, but I didn't watch it to the end. I kind of ran into the video. I didn't.
Anyways, the Lagos State government has advised the State Police Command to charge him to court over this sexual abuse allegation against him. And so the Directorate of Public Prosecution revealed that Baba Ijesha may be sentenced to life imprisonment if found guilty in court. So this process is...
I'll say it right now. That man guilty.
He's very guilty.
That man guilty.
He's guilty. But the thing is that...
the real kind of guilty.
We have to still go through the legal process so that before the eyes of the law, he's actually officially found guilty.
Is it not crazy that people are attacking Shegumi and people are defending Baba Ijesha?
It's disgusting. It's not even funny, it's disgusting. Like, it's just... You know what? I don't want to go to
I'm going to die.
Anyways, now over the weekend as well, or a few days back, we did get some information. This was about last week. We did see some information, a very sad story about a young girl. Her name is Ini, who was raped, murdered, and buried by a prospective employer after luring her with the guise of granting her a job interview. This happened in Uyo. This was very, very sad, very heartbreaking, but thankfully we're hoping that justice is being served. But with these different stories, these are just two stories.
The funniest part of this story is that the next day, the governor's wife led a protest to find the killer. Your husband's job. Who is she protesting to? Is she protesting to her husband?
To her husband. Haven't we? I mean, but this is not a surprise. Haven't we seen when Aisha Buhari was speaking against her husband's, government?
The political. No, she was excusing her husband that there are people in the presidency.
I mean, yeah, somewhat excusing her husband. But if you're saying
why her son is crashing $150,000 bike.
If you're saying that the medical center at Aso Rock is in a debilitating state, what are you saying indirectly about your husband's tenure as president?
No, I said when her son crashed his $150,000 bike, his son without a job crashed $150,000 bike. What did she do then? Who caused that one? Who was behind that? I want to know. I beg all these women.
So let's get back to this particular issue.
The problem I have with Nigeria is that it is high time we take it as national priority to start protecting African women. You know, but it's also difficult for us in Africa to, as African men, to protect our women because of the economic situation of most Africans. For example, this girl now, the situation she found herself, none of the children of the Nigerian elite can find themselves in such a situation. You know, because of how weak our women are economically. You know, it is easy for predators to prey on them. You understand? So the first action we must begin to take. That's why it's important that we begin the process of recapturing Nigeria for the benefit of the Nigerian people. Because it is only one of the strongest defenses our women can have against such predators is economic empowerment. You understand? And security. Because economic empowerment brings security into the lives of people, you know. And it is truly a shame that many of the powerful people in this country that should protect this country also rape this country. You understand? So all these things kind of manifest themselves in the, how do I put it? In the toxicity that we see enveloping our community. We've talked about this. This is the third week now. We are talking about this on the show.
You know, because I wasn't here as
and
well.
We've really gone in depth.
But I believe that what also needs to be done is stringent approach when addressing the case of rape, sexual molestation, you know, and all those other issues underneath this umbrella. That when issues like this come to play, that the predator must be brought to book, no questions asked.
Many people in the security operatives that are supposed to enforce these laws are all what's it called, advocates of the rape culture. Yeah, they are that one is even is the second step. They are advocates of the rape culture. They are the one that will be telling you that woman is for man. You must respect your husband.
Or asking silly questions like, why did you go there? Why did you wear that?
Exactly. You know, if you look at the Bible, for example, or the Quran, a woman is nothing if she's not owned by man. The only women that are protected from rape in the Bible and the Quran are women that are still in their father's house or married women. And you're in your father's house as a virgin. You understand? So many people that are also in these religions think that the woman's body is theirs for the taking. Especially single women that live in the city. You understand? That are not under any male ownership. So all these ideas in our heads, people really need to understand that so many things go to feed these people's toxicity.
Yes. So it's a combination of things that the government needs to take a look at. You know, aside from ensuring that there are stringent laws in place to bring the predators to book, also awareness needs to be done. People need to understand what you term as rape, what you term as assault, what you term as sexual abuse. They need to be aware of that.
And why are these governors not ratifying the sexual abuse laws in their states that have been passed? They said only 13 states have passed the laws protecting girl child from marriage and all of that. Look at the north. In the name of Islam, little African children are being married to old men. For what reason? Are we Arabs? Because the Arabs say it's okay, does that mean Africans must do it? It must happen to African children. We as Africans can have laws. We can have laws to protect ourselves from the excesses of religion. That's why there's separation of church and state, of mosque and state, or whatever and state. In any country that wants to move forward, you cannot use the laws, the dogmas of your religion to begin to corrupt secular society. Nigeria is still a secular state, whether we like it or not. You understand? And if these people if the Christians and the Muslims want to turn Nigeria to a religious state, then trust me, they will have to fight for that. It's not going to happen by all this mago they are doing. They will have to fight for that. You know, because many of us don't want that. We want a secular state where people can be held liable for actions that they've taken. Imagine what happened to Timi Dakolo's wife. I don't want to mention that pastor's name. His name should not be mentioned. I'm not part of his congregation that is doing rubbish. Somebody that said that a monkey cannot climb banana tree and they were clapping for him. That just shows you the caliber of people in that church. You understand what I'm saying? So when such people are called out,
Oh
you
my
hear
goodness.
a whole congregation of people coming to their defense. They want to say, "Oh, let him go and fight his case in court and let's see what happens. If he's guilty, if he's innocent, we'll find out."
Yeah.
But no, they will even protect him from any kind of prosecution whatsoever. Talking about touch not my anointed.
And do my prophet no harm. Alright, let's take this call. Lagos Rocks, good morning. Who's speaking? Hello? Okay, 0809-234-5913. 0809-222-0913. 01-515-0913. 01-515-1913. Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking?
I want to ask this question, Seun.
What?
Now, having identified that we are having some political talks that they are branded bandits, because I'm very happy that I get that today from you. Is it not possible that after we have retrieved our children, those that they have captured, then immediately we go after them, even without having signals? These people that we say they should fight them. So for me, I believe that the government and the sponsors and the organizers of all these talks that we are calling bandits today. So I think if they want to fight them, they can fight them.
All right, Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking?
You know, at times I wonder if the military bodies that we have in this country, whether are they really working? How because you know, because when you see some of these child abuse and everything, you begin to wonder where are they?